Ho ho buddies, welcome to Borderline Games. I'm Gareth, and today we're playing Paranormasight. It might be episode 7, it might be a different number. And I'm here with Plumbob Pancakes. Hello, Plumbob Pancakes.
What's up, guys? It's me, Plumbob Pancakes.
Yeah.
I thought I'd get into the hype intro.
Yeah, well, you did a good job.
Yeah? Did it sound like things are going to be crazy? You're never going to believe what happens next.
Why don't you tell us what happened last time in the same voice?
Oh, no, don't. That's too much energy.
Last time, we...
Previously. On... whatever this game is called, because I keep forgetting.
Previously on Paranormasight. So we finished... Shogo's
we finished
journey.
Shogo, then we went to the woman, and she's got that sexy private detective who I would.
And I would.
And he's told her to stay in and be good, and she's told him to go and investigate who else is a curse bearer before he goes and interviews that kid. Oh yeah, what's the kid called? Yoko? It's a different kid. Is Yako the one that he's... Is Yako the kid that the teacher, who was definitely a predator, told the private detective about?
I don't know.
Well, we don't have her yet on here.
No, I know, but I wondered whether we had the guy, and I don't think we do we?
No.
No. I think it makes sense that it is, right?
Yeah, and also I think that her friend who killed herself... Well, at first I thought her friend that killed... Oh, sorry, we're not allowed to say that.
No, you can say that, that's fine.
Her friend that stopped being alive by her own hand.
Yes.
I thought that was going to be the one who had helped kidnap the child and didn't realise that's what was going to go down. But the predator teacher seems to think that it's this other girl. So,
well, yeah,
but
teacher
then it
thought
might
that
be
it was...
because he predated the girl that made herself no longer alive by her own hands, and now the girl, her friend, is like really trying to figure it out because she's like, something's not right here, and as a result he's like making up stories about her because he's a predator. It's definitely someone's a predator.
Someone's going to be a predator.
I think it's Gareth.
So we finished this chapter that says not dreams, which resulted in him going off to do the thing and us going away to do something else. Now we're going to start a chapter called A Nice Thought.
Okay, thanks. Summary of previous events. Despite having obtained the curse of the haunting clappers, Haru Shigema is determined to use a rite of resurrection by stealing the remaining curse stones. She instructs her private investigator, Richter,
I think.
Yeah, that's it. To find the other curse bearers.
Let's go. Harue Shigema.
1 a.m.
Shigema Mansion Reception Room. Hang on. It's the same room.
Yeah.
That's you.
It's been almost an hour since Richter left. He promised he'd call me if anything happened. But he hasn't. So all I can do is wait. And wait.
A little think about it.
I know it's dangerous to go out. But I can't just sit here and let this opportunity pass me by. I have to look for her. For Michio Shirashi. Oh, so that's the name of the name that the predator teacher gave.
The student, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But first, I need to find more soul dregs. Can we look at the telephone? And what's that thing behind the chair, by the way?
I don't know. It kind of looks
ironing
like
board?
the top of a chair, but it looks like an iron board or something, doesn't it? Rotary phone.
We don't need to look at all these things, really. Oh, I'm waiting for Richter to contact me, but he hasn't.
He hasn't even faxed
He might
me.
even send me a fax. Who knows? He might not own one, though. I'm rich.
Newspaper?
Oh. What's this? A newspaper?
Yes, it is.
It must have fallen off the chair. Oh my God, I better
Don't
read
read
it. It's a newspaper, all right. I only leave them in here for the guests. I hardly ever read them myself. I don't think I've taken the time to go over one in years, in fact. Well, it's not like I have anything better to do. What is wrong with this woman?
Where are we going to look? Economy.
Education.
Oh.
Everyone attends high school now, even girls. What? So was that not a thing previously, before
No.
70, whatever? That's insane. The 70s isn't like that long ago. And high school isn't university. Universal education policy, they call it. The country's gotten rich enough that every child can go to school.
Thank God.
What a shocking
I thought it
travesty.
Wasn't it not like the 90s or something?
No, she said the 70s is when her son went missing, which was last year or whatever.
He went missing in the 70s.
Education is the backbone of modern society. If you want to work for a good company, you have to get into a good university. With more people in the running than ever, the competition to get into those universities has gotten fiercer, and now having a degree doesn't make any difference.
Mm-hmm.
The new generation is rebelling. Schoolyard violence and delinquency are on the rise. Is that something that happened in Japan?
You know...
But my boy was too sensible to get mixed up in any of that.
Maybe.
I don't want to read anymore. It'll only remind me of him.
The PI
reminds
that
me
just
of
left.
that meme. Everything reminds me of him. I wonder, was that we only got to read one bit?
Yeah, that was it. Oh, I could click on it again,
Yeah.
I guess.
Let's look at the society. Look at the society. It looks like the city's biggest problem right now is pollution. I remember how the air and water used to be even more polluted. The river was covered in scum from all the sewage and industrial waste, and it stank so badly it'd make my eyes water. What a delightful town. Eventually, people started getting sick and it couldn't be ignored anymore. Is this Victorian times? Fortunately, it's gotten better since then. Although the air around the industrial district is still filthy with gas and smog.
Do you think that there is... I feel like there's some confusion between when this is set. I think maybe... I don't know, what do you think? I don't know whether these things would have applied. Maybe they would have in 70s
I thought it was
Japan,
weird that the man said this era has just started to get TVs.
Yeah.
And
Because
then,
that's like, what, 50s, isn't it? Like...
But she definitely said her son was born in the 70s.
Yeah. I don't know, this... I feel like maybe there's some playing with time. Like... Maybe something like Shogo's reality happens in the 90s or happens at a certain time. Hers happens in this certain time.
But they all meet up.
But on that time, they all appear before each other, maybe?
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't know.
One night when they become curse bearers, they're all
all at the
visible
same
to each
time.
other, but they're not in the same time.
Yeah, they all see. I don't know. There's something about it that it feels like it's
But she definitely
giving
said
signs
70s.
of something. Yeah. Let's have a look at the newspaper. Hey.
Hey, the society one isn't done. If there's one thing Honjo never wants for, it's horrific crimes.
You know what it should say? It should just say keep reading or put down.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
is
it's
that
to
part
trick
of it
you
to be
so
like,
that-
oh, I've not finished that?
Well,
Like,
you
you know, if you-
assume you've finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. They found a police officer dead in a local park just the other day. A lot of my family are in the police. I hope it wasn't anybody I know. I never found out, though. I don't read the news anymore, not since last year. It brings back bad memories. Society still isn't done.
Do we need to look at all of this?
Suicide at
No,
local
I
high school. Hang on, that was supposed to be last year. Go on. Oh, I remember that. A high school girl jumped off a roof about a week ago. I thought you didn't read the news. Also, wasn't that her friend? And it was last year.
Whose
She was-
friend?
The girl, the schoolgirl.
Right, okay.
Remember he said I've been helping a schoolgirl with
that's right.
her friend's suicide, and then it said that girl's friend died. No, not by not being alive anymore, thanks to her own being decision.
Yeah.
I don't like the term.
By the thanks of her own autonomy.
Yeah.
Her own agency allowed her to not live
Anxiety death.
Yeah.
She was bullied, I think, or maybe it was something about exam pressure or guilt from kidnapping a child. What? But no, this can't be right. Her name. Bum bum bum. You know who that is?
Yeah, that's the one that the school teacher was saying was responsible for.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can't be.
Let's have a look
Well,
again.
think.
Okay, so we've looked at that one.
Now go back and think first.
Oh, okay. We'll think about that.
The same girl who witnessed my son's kidnapping committed not being alive anymore last
Due to
week.
her own agency.
But that means Mr. Jonatry was terrified of someone who had already died. Yeah, because he's a predator.
Predator.
Is that what he meant by a curse?
Predator. Predator.
Everyone's a predator.
Predator.
Don't have any heroes. They'll all turn out to be bad. Molesting you or other things that are sad.
It's real bad. Alright.
Predators. Predators. Everyone's a predator.
Predators.
This is really awful now. Please leave all the kids alone. You creepy man, please leave all the kids alone. You creepy girl. Okay. I've read this out. You can change
sorry,
it.
did you read it? That's what meant by a curse.
Yeah, I did.
1 second.
This is a reminder.
We're back.
Sorry for the interruption then. I'm
That's
not
okay.
allowed to talk about it. Gareth
You
just gave
can
me this
talk about
look
it.
that was like, stop it. It's a reminder of our Echo Dot to remind us of something, and then it announces it really loud.
Yeah.
And you don't want to hear that.
No, you don't want to hear that.
Nobody does.
But Vicky will read this out in a second.
I can't work this out on my own. Maybe Richter will know. Why won't he call? Oh! Imagine she's swooning now, by the way. I haven't left it off the hook, have I?
You can see it right there.
Let's just keep reading newspapers.
Are you looking at the newspaper, or is that a cue to look at the phone?
Look at the phone then.
Maybe.
And then the newspaper.
Oh, okay.
I've made sure the receiver is on the hook. It'll ring as soon as he calls. We've lost our opportunity to read the newspaper.
Maybe.
There could have been more clues.
I feel like we got a lot from that newspaper.
That must be him.
Should we answer it?
Yeah, I would recommend that.
Answer for sure.
Hello, Shigamo residents.
Haru
2
Shigemo.
a.m.
2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Kamagata Bridge. Here he is. Fwah.
Wonderful specimen of man. Richter called me out to meet him, and we came here to Komagata Bridge. He's a beautiful man.
I love the pans. They're so funny,
Yeah.
aren't they?
His profile was very defined. Even that mole by his lip was quite nice, but I hope it's not hairy.
We can probably get that surgically removed. It's fine.
Richter, there's something I need to tell you.
Funny, I was just thinking the same thing. Alright.
Let's have a think.
Oh.
Standing around is the last thing I want to be doing. Yeah, why wouldn't he just come to our house? Why would he
Yeah, I
make
know.
us come out here?
Come to this bridge.
This is my only chance to bring back my son. I can't afford to fritter it away. Fritters. I'll go first. We'll do you go first next time. There's something I need to tell you.
What's up?
When he gives you his full eye.
Yeah, just the one eye.
He's got his hair over the other.
He's got an eye patch under that.
It's beautiful. Well, that girl, Michio Shiriashi.
The one who was with Shuichi on the day of the kidnapping.
That's her. Well, she's dead. Dead pleased to see me. No, but actually she's dead.
She's what?
The student who tried to make herself not alive anymore.
Due to her own agency.
And then did make herself not alive anymore.
Due to her own agency.
That was her.
I heard something like that had happened. Never got the name though. Talk about bad luck. We finally get a lead only to find it's turned into a literal dead end.
Not exactly.
Unless her death was the whole reason Jonuchi was so shaken up. He said she was going to curse him. Was he talking about her taking revenge from beyond the grave?
It seems like we're back where we started. Well, we're not, because we've got this man now who's weird.
Yeah. Not necessarily. That
Thanks,
teacher
Richter.
knows something. I'm sure of it.
Handsome and brainy.
At the very least, I'd put money on him having something to do with Miss Shirashi's sudden death by her own agency. That's why he's so scared of being cursed by her.
I see.
And also, something tells me he knows more about your son's kidnapping.
Huh?
In any case, I think I've got a good idea of what he's hiding. Call it a hunch.
A predator?
No, a hunch. Well, more of a theory. Care to take a guess?
A predator?
I can guess. What do you think?
I can guess. I can't say for certain, but... Mr. Giucci?
Oh.
Silenced.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With murder. What do you think?
What do you think? This
think
wasn't
maybe-
where I expected it to go,
No,
to
I
be
didn't
honest.
either. I think maybe he could have killed her.
Yeah, go on then. That's what is the most likely to me.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been with a curse, and then that's why he's seeing her everywhere and thinking that she's cursing him. You know?
Yeah, whatever.
Or
Try it.
maybe it could be this one, and then she ended up killing herself, and he's now wrapped with guilt. Do you know what I mean? I think.
Oh yeah,
I think,
try and blackmail.
Do you think blackmail? But is it likely that
He'd seen her.
He'd seen her.
With the kid, and then blackmailed
Yeah.
her instead of going to the police. But I was thinking
Oh, okay.
he'd been being inappropriate with
That
her.
kind of
Am I
suggests-
the baddie?
Why would you be the baddie?
Because I've assumed he's a predator. He'd look like one too. Look like he'd flash you in the park.
Yeah, that kind.
Yeah.
I
Dick
think
out.
with blackmail is more of an interesting story. as
Okay, good
opposed to- yeah.
blackmail.
What if Mr. Jonuichi silenced Michiyo Shiriashi with blackmail?
What do you think?
No. Exactly my thinking.
Oh, Richter, should we get married?
Jonuichi knew about Miss Shirashi's connection to the kidnapping, and he used that to blackmail her into doing his bidding.
I hope
What do you hope?
that it wasn't
Well, it
that
probably
kind
was.
of bidding.
He made her feel so trapped she took her own life to escape. That's my read on it.
How despicable.
Well, it's just a theory. A game theory. Right now, I think we need to have another
I
chat
should
with Mr.
move my head
Jonuichi.
More like and say things from a profile, don't you think? Should do that more.
Yeah,
often.
you should do that. It makes you look cool for sure.
Yeah. And maybe I should wear a jaunty hat. Have a little think.
Have a little think. You can have a look at his body as well.
Oh, can't wait for that. Oh, we've already thought
Oh,
about
yeah.
this. Yep, no fritters.
Let's have a look at his body.
Yeah. Check out that body. He's gazing down at the water. There's a slight bulge in his trousers. What does he see down there, I wonder?
You could
His
afford
own
to
reflection?
do that up a bit more.
I would be mesmerised too. Oh, the curve of his body. Okay. Please, go ahead. That mole's freaking me out, though. It's definitely
I don't
hairy.
think it is a mole, I think it's just a definition of the lip.
What? That black spot?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you
All
don't
right,
know
then.
anything. That's clearly a hairy mole.
I guess so. I've been poking around places connected to the 7 mysteries, looking for curse bearers. And I think I've found a few candidates.
He'd hold your face while he kisses you, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would. Like, with both hands. Very tightly.
Oh, that's too much.
He
just
wouldn't
one
let you
hand.
go.
And then maybe a hand at the back of the head like you do, where you like shove my face into yours, whether I'm...
That's right. That's a callback.
Yeah, it's a cool move.
First, a tall man I ran into in
He wasn't a curse
Kinshibori
bearer.
Park.
He was a curse actor.
I asked him for directions, trying to probe him a little, but he turned the questions right back around on me. And he was out of there the second he figured I wasn't what he was looking for. I got the sense curses were nothing new to him. I'm about 40% sure he's a curse bearer.
Well, you're 40% wrong.
Then there's this middle-aged guy I saw on South Waragashi Street. There's no question about this one. He had one of the curse stones in his hand.
Who's that?
I think maybe... Is that the one with the... He made everything dark?
Oh, we didn't ever get to see
Yeah, I
him,
don't
did
think we
we?
saw him properly. He had a nervous air about him too. It was clear he was up to some shady business. Gathering soldier eggs, I'd bet. He'd make a good target. Here we go. Next up is a pair. A young man and woman I saw around Ryogoku Bridge. This time the man came up to me and asked me flat out if I was a curse bearer. I told him I didn't know what he was talking about, and he backpedaled and left. Looks like they lurk around there often. Looking for kindred spirits would be my guess. Though it didn't seem like they were quite working as a pair.
That's the vibe we got too, mate.
Gathering soul dregs in a group might be a decent idea if you could make it work. But with the things being how they are, it's got to be hard to find folks one can trust.
But if you team up, then only one person can be brought back to life.
Yeah. They've got brass though. I don't know what their deal is, but I'd like to find out. Last is 2 detectives I've seen sniffing around. The police are... Oh, that's you, sorry.
The police are involved.
Not necessarily. A body turned up in a local park a few days ago, so they might just be looking into that. Still, the park's got ties to one of the 7 mysteries. Might be it was a curse that did the guy in. And if they're sending in detectives from the head office, then something's got to be up.
How do you know where they're from?
Let's just say that when you're in this business, there are some faces you get to know. Anyway, that's everyone who's caught my eye.
You found all of them in so little time. Huh, I really did hire the best.
It's all in the name, ma'am. It's all in the name, ma'am. Richter Kai, P.I.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. It's all in the name. You should have known when you saw my name, and my name's Richter Kai. Okay. No.
Oh, I love that.
Wait. Make that Richter Kai, investigator extraordinaire.
That makes more sense.
That makes more sense, yeah.
My, an investigator extraordinaire. Please, hold me.
And never let go.
Is that why you can dress like that without drawing attention to yourself?
Because he's that good. You bet, an investigator extraordinaire can blend in like a chameleon in any outfit.
Well, that aside, the middle-aged man and the young couple sound the most promising, am I right?
Whichever we pick, it's still too early to make a move.
Could I make a move?
It seems like
On
the
you?
curse bearers are less involved with each other than we thought. Plus, there are still others we don't know about. I say we hang fire and see how things play out. Once more bodies start showing up, that'll get the pot nice and hot. And once it's boiling, our chance will come.
Hang on. Doesn't he want to avoid all these people dying?
Yeah, surely.
Doesn't seem like a very nice man now. Maybe I'm not going to marry him.
Should we
Maybe
have a
I'll
little
just
think?
stick with you. Yeah, let's have a think.
Yeah.
I want to be out. I want to do a murder.
I want a fucking fritter. Didn't you want to tell me something?
I already told you.
Okay. Well, what's going on then? Oh, I guess we can look at down what's going on.
We're on Komagata Bridge over the Sumida River. There's a highway on one side and a freeway on the other, but they're both deserted this late at night.
Oh no.
It's a bridge. Cool.
It's a bridge. River.
The Sumida River. The water is filthy and horrid, but at night, when it's still, it looks almost peaceful.
Can I ask you something, Mom?
Yes, please.
Anything. Is the Sumida River what you Honjo folks picture when you think of home?
I couldn't say. All I can tell you is I've had my eyes closed for a really long time, and I can hardly stand the sight of it, hence the eyes.
Right, should have guessed.
That's where they found him.
Yeah.
This was where they found him,
after
after he went missing. All alone, floating in that horrible water. Splish, splash, she was having... What's that song go?
Taking a bath.
Oh, all I can think is how scared he must have been, how cold he must have been. What did he ever do to deserve something so awful? She's the one I want to win the most.
Yeah,
I've come here every day since then.
I feel like she won't though.
And I prayed to the river to give him back. To give me back my son. Day after day after day.
Awkward. You know, in olden times, people believed rivers marked where our world met the next.
What?
This is inappropriate for me to say.
That's so a mole.
So the act of crossing flowing water had a huge amount of spiritual significance. Back when Edo was founded, the people of Chiwo saw the Sumida River the same way. They associated the far side of the river with the afterlife. That same place would later become Honjo. All their fear and revulsion accumulated there and took root. But then the Ryogoku Bridge sprang up after the Great Fire of Mereki, and just like that, Honjo was part of the city too. And as it turned from farmland into a town, the people surrounding it with their man-made rivers and crisscrossed it with canals and waterways.
Weren't those to prevent flooding? That's what I was told.
They were, but that's not all they were for. The other purpose was to contain all the corruption that had built up on the far shore, and stop it leaking through to our side of the Great Divide. Officially, they were a physical barrier, but unofficially, they were a spiritual one too.
So if I have this right, are you saying that Honjo is a place where the real world meets the afterlife?
Exactly. That's why the rite of resurrection is here, rather than anywhere else. I'm sure of it. And it's probably why the seven mysteries and their curses have survived to the modern day. And I guess that would make this spot we're standing now, right over the water, the border between life and death. If there ever was a place where bringing back the dead might be possible, I reckon it's here. It's funny that you mentioned praying to the river. That might have done more than you think.
Is that supposed to make me feel better?
Just thinking aloud, Mom. He doesn't seem the type that would say Mom.
No, he doesn't. He's supposed to be flamboyant, though.
Mm.
Maybe he'd be like, Mom!
Yeah.
That's flamboyant, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is, yeah.
Well, it's a nice thought. River.
Dead.
Cool.
All
Oh,
right.
more river thinking.
Oh, should we do a think first or river?
Yeah, do a think and then we'll river it.
Okay, I want some fritters.
Oh, that's right. There's one more memory I have of this river. Do you mind if I tell you?
Yeah, I think you've told me too much. I'll see you later.
It's where I lost my virginity.
Go ahead.
It must have been about 20 years now, when I was still a schoolgirl. I hope that isn't where the story's going. Back then, the Samida River was much filthier than it is now. It was full of garbage and industrial discharge. It was scummy and slimy and it stank.
Thanks for telling me that.
You could look out over the water and see dead cats and dogs and pigeons just floating 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And one day, amongst all the filth and garbage, there was a piece of my missing classmate's hand.
Oh, I can see why you're fucked up. What?
It was almost a miracle when you stop to think about it. What are the chances that someone would find a part of her that was still recognisable? And that although everything but the palm had rotted away in the water, the part that was left would have an identifiable scar. And that they could tell it had been a murder from the blade marks on the bone.
What? Wait. Are you talking about the Najima murders?
So you have heard of it? I'm impressed. I used to murder. I assume you were but an elementary schooler at the time.
I assumed we were the same age. I wasn't really aware of it then.
It's inappropriate if I hook up with him?
Yeah. I only heard about it after the fact. I had no idea the victim was a classmate of yours.
It would be weird if you did know that. Right, let's read about these murders. A notorious case from over 2 decades ago involving the murder of a female high school student. It came to the attention of the authorities when part of a human left hand was discovered floating in the Samada River. Testing revealed it had belonged to a missing female high school student. As it appeared to have been severed deliberately, the police launched a murder investigation. Although if we see anyone with one hand, we know she's still alive. A large-scale search of the river was organised, but the highly polluted state of the water made this impossible. Visibility was poor, the stench was intense, and the divers quickly fell ill. They succeeded in recovering only the victim's head and she's definitely dead then.
Yeah.
And what appeared to be part of her leg before the search was called off. At the time of the incident, the Samada River was as polluted as ever been. Neither fish nor shellfish could survive in it, eventually causing the annual fireworks display to be called off indefinitely. Over the course of the search, the police discovered a number of unidentified human bones. This caused a stir among the public, as several other young women had gone missing in recent years within the Tokyo area, and it was feared that they may have fallen victim to the same fate. Forensic technologies at the time, however, were not advanced enough to determine the identities of the deceased, and so the police were unable to open any inquiries. Due to the overwhelming lack of circumstantial evidence, the investigation ground to a halt until a hitherto unrelated individual came to its attention. During a questioning about a separate incident, Fumichika Nijima?
Yeah, I don't know.
A 36-year-old shop owner with no relation to the victim divulged details about her that had never been released to the general public. An investigation into his background was conducted, leading to his arrest. Nejima testified that he had snatched his victim from the street and confined her in the underground storeroom of his shop, which also served as his living quarters. He chose her for no special reason, but simply decided she was an opportune target on seeing her walking alone at night. After keeping her locked up for several days, he restrained her, sewed her mouth shut, and severed her fingers and toes with a box cutter while she was still conscious. As she screamed silently behind her sealed lips, he proceeded to her wrists, her ankles, her elbows, her knees, working his way inwards slowly and methodically. His victim constantly wavered in and out of consciousness. Her ordeal continued until she died of blood loss. Nejima
God.
dismembered the rest of the body and disposed of it behind his home in the Samada River before cleaning his storeroom and returning to his everyday routine as if nothing had happened. The brutality of his actions shocked the nation when they were eventually reported. Once apprehended, he readily divulged the details of the murder, but was less willing to explain his motive. When asked, he would only break down in tears, saying, "I don't know what came over me. I know it was wrong." In the end, the police could extract nothing more from him than expressions of remorse. Although the efficiency of his methods strongly suggested that he had committed similar crimes in the past, no corroborating evidence ever came to light. He was sentenced to life in prison at his first hearing. The sentence was imposed with no appeal from the defendant.
Wow, that's a horrific murder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm glad we read that one. Oh.
There he is. Why does he look so funny?
The animated headlines of... so do you think he was possessed then, clearly?
Yeah. To be honest, it was all a bit of a blur. A wave of chaos just parting around me. I've always had a connection to this river. Something like that. They said the rest of her body must have sunk to the bottom of the river. They combed the riverbed, but they only ever found pieces.
Of her body, so they found it.
Everything else must have rotted and flowed out to sea. Afterwards, I heard that all the divers who had been looking for her fell ill. You'd already said that?
Yeah, that's already been... Was it her that said it, or was it
the... him. It might have been him.
A sorry story for everyone involved, huh? It's funny. Everyone figures the river's filthy already, so one more piece of garbage won't hurt. But every little bit makes it worse. It's a vicious cycle. I know I wouldn't want to go rooting around down there myself.
That's right. Which is why the riverbed is the last place anybody would go looking. Or, so was the killer's thinking, I suppose. The times were changing quickly back then. Things were confusing. Everyone seemed to be in a hurry. Young people were moving to Tokyo in droves. Some even ran away from home to make it in the big city. And they made easy targets for bad people. A lot of them ended up disappearing without a trace.
What?
You see, back then, if you chopped a body up into tiny pieces and threw it in the river, it would rot quickly and discreetly and sink to the bottom, never to be seen again.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
They arrested him shortly after for Michika Najima, the man who killed my classmate and cut her into pieces. He was so methodical about it, it couldn't have been his first crime. And people began to wonder how many other girls he'd murdered the same way. Police never found any evidence of other murders in the end. But the river knows the truth. How many corpses has it swallowed up over the years, I wonder? That same thought spread through everyone's mind, and then they started to avoid this area. So really, this river has been rank with corruption for decades.
Cool. And I guess we're going to find out next time on Borderline Games. Where we go next?
I imagine we're still going to talk about the surroundings for a bit.
Yeah,
she
for
loves
quite
doing
a while.
that.
Yeah.
She keeps saying she's in a rush for fritters, but like she can't stop
she can't
talking
hungry,
about
can
it.
she?
Also, she keeps making it sound like she murders people and puts them in the river.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not even sure now whether I should be like wanting her kids. I want her kid to not be dead, but I feel bad rooting for a woman who's like very frequently making references that suggest she chops up people.
I think she's definitely harbouring a secret that we don't know yet.
Who do you think she murdered?
Maybe she murdered her classmate?
Yeah, but
then how would that guy know details that weren't revealed?
Yeah.
I don't know.
She possessed him.
Maybe. But we'll find out next time on Borderline Games. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Paranormasight, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you
Love
for everything. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.